to my channel. I have no plan for this video except that I'm sitting here with Peanut. I'm actually labeling Tables of Bunny's crayons. We had her orientation today, and her class teacher said everything had to be labeled individually, purely because, you know, kids, they have a tendency of dropping things on the floor and then they deny it till death, literally, like that it's their thing, especially when it comes to tidying up. So it makes sense to have everything labeled so that they know who it belongs to and all of that fun stuff. The only issue I have though is that I don't think we're gonna have enough labels for all of that. We're almost out on this sheet, but we have another sheet. Yeah, I'm gonna show friends what you're doing. On this sheet, we have a few more labels that I can use, so that's great. But I'm gonna try and do the best I can. I know for a fact when it comes to pencils, I'm gonna go old school with that and the other pencil crayons. But these ones, these retractable ones, I don't really have much of an option. So anyway, while I'm labeling away, I thought I should just do a quick chit chat with you guys. I don't know how it's gonna work out with this dumpling over here though, but we'll try. The one thing that's been on my mind for a long time, maybe since the beginning of the year, or actually no, I'm lying, since towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, has been my spending habit, how I spend my money and what I spend my money on. I must confess, I do have to change a lot of things. I mean, I don't go crazy spending money, but I do spend a considerable amount of money on things I want to need, and it's not always the best option. So I really want to work harder to try and change that. I'm just putting on those labels right here in the end. At this point, to be honest, all I know is I don't want to go on a full-on no-buy year. I've watched so many YouTube videos about no-buy year, what you should do, how you should cope and how you should prepare for it and all of that fun stuff. But I do know for a fact that that's not something I can commit to, especially this year more than anything, with baby surprise, this birth looming, and having 2 kids and all of that fun stuff. I just really feel like it's gonna be so inappropriate and just mission impossible. But I do want to keep track and be on top of my spending habits. So what I did, I basically went through my bank statement, and I kid you guys not, I went through line for line every single month, whole 12 months, and I looked at what it is that I spent money on. It was shocking. It was actually quite eye-opening and also very crazy to look at. At the very top of the list, I realized I spent a lot of my money on takeouts, especially through Uber Eats. It is so convenient, it is so easy to use. Push a few buttons and food is at your door, and that's money that I regret spending. I think the one thing that really made me realize how bad this whole situation was actually writing it down. So not only did I go through my bank statement, I also wrote it down on my notebook. And the thing is, when you're doing it, when you're in the moment and you're ordering food, it looks like such small orders, even though sometimes it's well over $100. It looks like such small orders, but because you're doing it multiple times, sometimes twice a day, sometimes multiple times a week. Hey, oh, hi, peekaboo. Oh, don't do it, peekaboo. No, don't eat that. Thank you. Oh, dear Lord. Whew. I thought he was gonna fall on his head. He didn't. He just fell on his butt. Okay, yeah, we can play with these ones. I already labeled them. Thank you. Oh, you're so adorable. Because it's like multiple orders. Sometimes it's multiple orders a day, and because one order sometimes will total like 100 Rand, sometimes it's well over 100 Rand. It really does amount to a big number when you look at it at the end of the month, whenever you have a chance to look at it. And so just doing that exercise had me seriously reevaluating my spending habits. It's not just on Uber Eats. I've also picked up that I'm honestly truly an emotional spender. When I feel sad, I want to buy something. When I just don't really feel good, I want to buy something. If me and Dizzy have an argument and I don't really feel good, I want to buy something. Buying something or something new makes me happy. Half the time, nope, I'm lying, all the time, it's never really anything for me. It's usually something for the kids, and just seeing them light up and seeing them be happy sort of brings me a little bit of joy, and it sort of makes it feel better, if that makes any sense. It makes me feel better, which is so bad, I know, but I'm glad I did that exercise because it made me realize exactly that. It's sad to say, I think I've done it once already this year. I went through a really rough-ish patch during the December period. There was one weekend where I was literally at my all-time low, and I tried so hard to not spend anything, especially because it was right after I did that exercise, and I tried really everything to not spend money. But at the beginning of the year, I just had to do it. I just felt like I just had to do it. Thankfully, it was something that was needed, but it still made me feel really good. This is honestly, I don't want it to be like this. I don't want to have to buy things and try to justify that it's something that is needed, or try and convince myself that it's something that is needed, because half the time it probably isn't. I'm sort of committing myself or challenging myself to go on a, I don't want to say no buy challenge, because I will be buying stuff. We are just about to have a baby and we have to buy stuff for this baby. This child basically has nothing. I'm going to be doing a limited spending. So basically, I am giving myself an allowance. And with that allowance, I am literally only allowed to buy what we need. Be it something for the baby, be it something for myself, be it something for the 2 babies that we already have. It has to be something that we need. I'm not going to be buying things that I want to need, or things that make me feel good, or any of those things. I know you're probably wondering, how do you know that you don't need things? Well, in my mind, how I've been doing it, at least so far, is not buying it until what we have is finished. I do tend to be a bit of an impulse buyer too. I love trying out things. So when I go to the store and I'm like, oh my God, that looks so good, I want to try that. For example, the other day, I was at Checkers and they had this 3-in-1 kitchen cleaner magic portion. I suppose that is supposed to make everything look amazing and smell good. And I was so tempted to buy it, but then I was like, no. We already have tons and tons of these. Hey, you can come in. We don't need another kitchen cleaner until what we have is finished. That's the guy that makes me spend money for no reason. See, he's dancing like that. I'm gonna start feeling crappy and then I'm gonna go spend money. Story of my life. Honey, what do you think you spend money on? Oh, you're vibrating. Let's put in the box. Sister. Yeah, I labeled all of her crimes, at least for the first box. No. You guys probably can't even see it. No. Thank you. Really? You just want to make it rain? Yeah, then you clap your hands for yourself. You're so adorable. I could just eat you up. I'm now doing the pencil crayons. And I'm going all ghetto on them because we don't have enough labels here. But anyway, back to my no spending or limited spending. I'm gonna be giving myself an allowance. So with that allowance, I can buy not whatever I want. I get to buy what we need. I cannot buy what we already have in the hopes of trying something new. I have a tendency, like I already said, of getting sucked into trying something new, or something just looked really good. It looked like such a good idea, but then it just ends up being money not very well spent, and that thing never gets used. I'm trying to limit all of those, regardless of how crappy I feel. I'm trying to talk about my emotions more instead of bottling things. Another thing that I realized while doing that exercise is the fact that because I'm not talking about how arguments or some conversations or some situations make me feel, I go and I process those emotions through therapy, like retail therapy. We have so many things that I've bought that we hardly ever used. I don't know where the receipt is. I used to be queen of returning stuff. I don't know what happened to me. I feel like baby surprise has really not only rattled my cage, but this baby has sort of made me realize that that perfect plan that I had in my head about finances and money and keeping the kids afloat and just getting through life comfortably, it's gonna be a little bit of a get your butt into it kind of mentality. And as much as I appreciate this little baby and I'm really grateful that I am carrying this child after all that I've been through, I really think I need to be more responsible and more accountable for my money. I can promise you guys, there are so many things that I need that I never buy, but I buy things that I want to need because they made me feel good and they looked like such good ideas. And I'm curious to know, how do you guys spend your money? Especially if you just recently got married and you're sort of trying to figure out your finances. And even if you're not married, if you're a single mom, if you are in a relationship, if you're just a working person who has some sort of financial stream, how do you spend your money? Because I really would love to know. Personally, I have an Excel spreadsheet. I'm so old school. I have an Excel spreadsheet where I literally jot down everything I buy or everything I spend money on. But what I've noticed with that spreadsheet is it was looking at the bigger picture. So I included things like my debit orders and like the big things. But what I didn't do is I always forget to include the small purchases like your Uber Eats, because those are so frequent that I felt like it was too much admin and I was like, I can just skip those. What I didn't realize is that when you add those up, good lord, it's a good chunk of money. I just labeled these pencil. Let me show you guys what it looks like. It is so old school, but it's still so adorable and so cute. Takes me back. And here Kita is saying, uh-oh. Not too sure what that was for, but they're okay. I'm so done being the parachute mom. Like, I let them figure it out. The complaints department is closed. Look at that. It doesn't necessarily look exactly the same, but I think it still looks cute. You can still see what it says. You can still see who it is for. So that's perfect. That's what I did. Please do let me know in the comment section down below. How do you spend your money? What do you spend your money on? If you're married, how do you guys handle your finances? If you don't want to talk about it in the comment section, please feel free to DM me on Instagram, because I feel like this is the conversation that needs to be had. I feel like for a long time, women, we've just always been sort of quiet about how we spend our money, mostly because we didn't have our money to spend. We didn't work. We had husbands providing for us, which was amazing, I suppose. I've never been through that, but we just never had any sort of voice to want to figure out how you want to spend your money and what you want to spend your money on. It was always the money that you had that had to be spent on the household, because you got it from your hubby and all of that fun stuff. I feel like we're at a point where we need to be more open about finances, especially because it's going to help somebody else as well. We need to be able to be financially smart, financially independent. You never have to depend on a man, even if that man is your husband or any family member for that matter. If you're able to get up and make your own money, I think you should. I don't know if it's the same thing in other races, but I feel like when it comes to Black people, we're always so secretive about money and how we spend money and or how we save money. It's like talking about having sex or something, and it's really not okay, because we don't go forward as a society, or we don't go forward together. We leave others behind. It's about time that changes. We need to have serious conversations, even if it's not serious, but some sort of conversation about money and how we spend our monies, and how we can help that little bit of money grow to help us live a better life, or the life that we want. People say they want to have millions of money and all of that fun stuff. I say I want to have enough money to sustain my lifestyle and live comfortably. I'm all for a comfortable life. If you have enough money to make sure that your kids are well provided for until they're able to do so themselves, and you don't owe anything on what needs to be paid, like you have no debt, you owe nobody anything, then I feel like you're at a point where you're really doing great. The one thing I really hate is to have to live a life where I'm uncomfortable, or I'm constantly needing for stuff. If I want to go out with my family for a cute lunch, I should be able to get up and go do it. I don't want to restrict myself. I work too damn hard to not be able to spend my money, because at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. We're just gonna leave the money behind, and people who probably don't even know you will be fighting over your money. Let me know how you guys do it. I'm really curious to know, because I feel like sometimes, it's not even a feeling, I know I do that. I overthink things, I overanalyze things, and I drive myself mental, and then I just end up being paralyzed and I feel crappy, and guess what I do? I go spend money. Me doing that exercise last year really had me open my eyes. I mean, yes, I live a comfortable life. Yes, I don't need for anything. I want to need a lot of stuff, but I really don't need for anything. But I'm really reckless with my spending, and that is just, it doesn't sit well with me. I really need to be disciplined when it comes to spending money. I need to learn to process my emotions. I need to learn to talk about stuff, because I'm not a big talker, you guys. You see me sitting here in videos and talking stuff, but in real life, this girl does not talk much at all. I need to start talking about things and not just splashing money on my issues and my emotions. This video is probably going to be way longer than I wanted it to be. I'm going to go ahead and take these crayons back, because I'm done labeling these ones. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this random video. Let me know how back to school started for you guys, how it went, any tears. This mama is very happy that back to school is here and the kids can go to school and everybody's sanity can just come back to them. Like I said, I am not stay-at-home mom material. I'm desperate for the kids to go to school. We've been together for 3 weeks, over 3 weeks now, and it was blissful, it was fun, it was amazing, and then it was frustrating and a bit too much. And so yeah, let's just get back to our new normal. I'm very excited for that. Let me know how that went for you. Peanut's already back in school. He's been back now for 2 days and it's been amazing. No tears, nothing whatsoever. Kavia is going tomorrow. We had an orientation today, so she did really well. Anyway, that's that. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thumbs up if you watched this far, and we'll see you besties on our next video. Bye besties.
Tonight we're running on the right track.